So you said McDonald's is a partner. They should have let you design your own McDonald's meal.
McDonald's legends and put them in the Happy Meals.
Yeah, that's some good marketing right there. Oh wait, you shouldn't be
I know
spilling
we
it.
need to
It costs
say this.
money.
Hold on, that part might
Collect them all.
Welcome to The Scene Drift, a podcast exploring the worlds of film, television, and entertainment, and the people who bring those stories to life, drifting through stories, one scene at a time. Today we're diving into Meal Ticket, a powerful documentary exploring the legacy and impact of the McDonald's All-Americans, one of basketball's most iconic stages for rising talent. The film shines a light on the players, culture, and history behind a platform that has shaped generations of the game. Joining me are first-time filmmakers Carlton Sabbs and Colvin. We discuss the challenges of bringing this story to life, their journey as emerging directors, and the importance of telling a story that hasn't been explored before. Let's get into this.
Lovely to meet you guys. Firstly, Colton, I need that hat. I love it. I love it. Yeah,
thank you, man. Yeah, we got to get McDonald's to pick it up, man.
exactly.
So we can get the
Where do you think
worldwide
we can get
release.
one of those?
Absolutely, just let me know, man. And I can
Yeah.
I'll send you one.
Yeah, so I watched the film a few days ago. Really enjoyed it. And honestly, when I first read the title, it didn't immediately scream basketball to me. I was like, damn, was it like a food item or was it gonna have an element of food? And obviously it had somewhat, but it was more about the culture, which I really liked. Was that intentional to have that title, Meal Ticket?
I think when Carlton and I were, there's so many different levels to it. But once we got to that point of we're doing this movie, we're gonna tell this story,
Mm,
what should we call it? And we had a few different ideas. Just something about the name Meal Ticket that
mm,
that's just landed because of just the play on words. When you think about McDonald's, like you said, the food concept,
mm,
you get to go there, you order your favorite meal. As a kid, you have the Happy Meals and things like that, and then you take into consideration these are, they're young adults, but they're still, some of them are kids, 17,
mm,
18 old playing in this game. And, just the play on word ticket because the culture of hip hop and music, and when you hear meal ticket, it's it's a skill set. It's something that you have inside of you that you can execute to be able to change your trajectory in life. Open up some doors and some new opportunities for yourself.
and to add to that, I did see Carlton, you posted a few days ago that 4 years ago that this was just a vision, it was just an idea. So in that 4 years to the final product now, how much would you say changed and what was the initial thing that you started with?
Yeah, I mean when the film first came to me and Corey from Cootie and Chike, the legends, from Genius and Benji,
Mm,
they shared the idea, and it was clear that we were born to tell the story of the McDonald's All-American game. And, when we filmed the class in 2022, um, it was like the movie was like, oh, this is what this documentary can be. Of course, documentary storytelling is discovery, right? And you're just unveiling things as you go. But when we filmed four players in 2022, Flau'jae Johnson, Amari Bailey, Derek Lively, and Janiyah Barker, it sparked something in me and Corey of like, all right, this is hoop dreams right here. This is the closest thing we can get to, you don't know who they are, but one day you might know them,
mm,
you may know them. And we took that and went back to the stakeholders to the EPs and like can we like incorporate them in the story, like this needs to be a part of the film to drive us. It was not a just a straight like let's do this. It was overnight years, but the legends really show you why it's so valuable to see why Flau'jae's story is relevant. When
mm.
you see Candace Parker say her piece, right? Or Alonzo Mourning validating Derek Lively. So um, I think through it all, me and Corey fought really hard to keep the integrity of film, culture, everything in the forefront. And for sports fans, hopefully we did this film justice, because it's a lot there for everybody.
I mean, you guys did do it justice because I'm across the sea in the UK, and obviously basketball isn't our main thing, but I watch it quite often. But honestly, watching this documentary, it acted more of a gateway of getting more into it as well. And obviously, the McDonald's All-American, what the players obviously they say that it's a gateway into the NBA. So do you feel like you guys making this is your gateway more into the industry?
Absolutely. It's a meal ticket for us all. It's like a
Yeah,
quadruple entendre.
we're all eating
Um,
good today.
But yes, this was also a dream of the project where I'm so glad Amazon came on as a partner because it was only a few platforms that could help us get this film out to the world, which I felt was something that could be very powerful in it because as you see in the NBA and WNBA, these players are playing overseas or a lot of people that's leading the charge and the faces of the league right now is, foreign, right? They're not American. So the top five, last MVPs have not been American in the NBA. So I'm like, man, if you're an NBA fan, do you really know about the McDonald's game though? Did you know LeBron did this, Kobe? So hopefully we get just we bring that true documentary feel into a lot of international fans of basketball and bring something special there, but also like the nostalgia we hope to tap into. But there's another part of your question I forgot. What was the last part of it?
About whether making this film was gonna help you get more into the industry because it's your first feature, isn't it? Both of yours, because you both did series and miniseries. So yeah, essentially it does act as a meal ticket for you guys.
Yeah, and it surely does, and it gives us a little bit of granted, it's a lot of brands involved, so we fought hard to get the best version of this film done, but it's very challenging,
Mm.
especially as first-time filmmakers. But hopefully, there was enough done there where you can kind of see our storytelling chops, right? And we really have a clear vision in it, and no matter how challenging it is, and think about 50 years being told into 90 minutes is
Mm.
uh is insane.
I mean, in 90 minutes, you told a big story. And transitioning from more shorter form storytelling with series, both you and Corey, you started off in 2021, I believe, with your series. Um, how was that transition from going from scripted TV to real life documentary? I'd like to start with you, Corey, first, if that's all right.
So I think so when it comes to scripted, um, that's still like another dream that Carlton and I have actually is to be able to one day be able to get a scripted project off the ground. We focused a lot through. We started our production company in 2018, hit the ground running, kind of, cut our teeth doing the music video thing, getting to TV commercials and, like you said, short form content, editorial pieces, things to just kind of help strengthen and make things look really cool to make people want to watch the total project of something. And while we would do that, you know, it just fed our fire more to just say one day, like, we got to get a movie off. We want to be able to tell a feature length story um, that we could make our mark with. And when Meal Ticket came our way, because at the time we were doing that, we were working on an editorial piece to help support the film Genius about Kanye West that Cootie and Chike directed. And so while working with them and them getting a chance to know us and you know see our work and see how we were kind of like reminded them a little bit of how they did their things, they supported us and they said, you guys can make that dream happen one day. And they hit us up like shortly after that movie came out and said we might have an opportunity for you guys to be able to get that first film, um, you know, off your plate and get it out there to the world. And then when we found out it was telling the story of the McDonald's All American game, we're like, yo, this is crazy, because when you think about it and you think about the history of it and the people who've played in it, you would think that somebody's done this before. And then just even talking to the historical part that the game plays. I told Carlton, when we were in New York a couple of days ago, I said, man, we're part of history now because we were the guys who were trusted to be able to tell this story about a historical game. So now we've like etched our names in this game as well to be able to move forward with it as it continues to grow and change players' lives and that platform. Over 60% of the players that play in the game have a that chance that percentage chance of being and having a successful professional career. So I just think it just makes us happy. I think that to be trusted to tell a story like this.
Yeah, like as you said that you feel like you're being etched in history now for making something that's something so big. And this film does come out tomorrow. And many people will see it on Prime Video, hopefully. I mean, they will because it's a good story. Um, do you feel like that this film could be, as it's a gateway for you guys for in the industry, it could be a gateway for others watching it, audiences, like to get into basketball, to get into filmmaking. It's it's something that can be used for many years to come because basketball isn't something that's just a one-time thing, and filmmaking is not a one-time thing. It's something that's continually growing.
It really is, and I think in the style and storytelling, even when we were looking for inspiration on how to tell this story, I
Mm.
was like, man, it's not a lot of films telling the stories of multiple players in a year, but then you also doing a through line of current verite. Like it was just such a tough like project to kind of put together, but we did find inspiration. And like you said, I hope it does bring it was done in a way where, you're not a sports fan, but you still get something from it. It's great stories, emotion there, it's heart. But also I hope we set the tone off of like a potential blueprint of like this is a way to kind of, you know, pay homage where you have, some people you may not know, but the ancestors bring credibility to their story. In that style, I think we did a pretty nice job of doing it in a short time. I mean, 90 minutes is not short, but like for
No, that
the
is short
stories that
down.
we have,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty impressive. This could easily be a series, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was
Mm.
thinking, damn, we could have had this into like a six-part series or something where you dive more deep into the current, like the 2022 players. Then obviously it links back, and then you get more. I feel like you guys definitely shot more footage than you showed because
Oh.
Absolutely, but you know what? Shout out to the people who we had helping us with the movie. We were still able to learn. Like even from like the point of like Chike recommending books, certain books for us to read about, filmmaking and, like the term podding, was like a thing where it's just like, how can we, just focus and lock in and tell separate stories, but make them connect, to a larger story. And, known was really good with, you know, keeping us on a path that will help us be able to get the film picked up. Rock Nation, once we had that vision in place, any players that they had signed to them that were McDonald's All Americans, they offered them up right away. And then to, like I said, with creative control, their experience with having films out there like Benji, a kid from Coney Island, and just them being just dope, directors themselves that helped lead us to being able to get this deal with Amazon. And boom, we were able to keep that vision of like we made our first movie. So yeah.
yeah, with the creative team. I'll be honest, I've got a bit of a background in film. I've made short films, so I love the creative process a lot. And I think you guys, the studio should be paying more to the editor because I don't know how they got that down into such a condensed story, but um, with so much character and elements behind it, and with the story, like how were you able to get so much footage and then know where the narrative is and how to piece it together? Because obviously it's not necessarily scripted. It is a story, but it's not something like Act One or Scene
Mhm.
One or uh, it's something where you have to find the narrative in the edit.
Yeah, absolutely. And Corey and I, in our style in which how we approach this, you know, Corey has the things that he's very strong in as far as when we first start production and everything and getting the team together and who the creators we want to actually help us to tell the story. And I think for me, I learned filmmaking through editing. So edit really taught me how to tell stories and like what do we go, how do we move forward when we get into production. So when we got into this film, the goal was just to get into post-production and annoy the editors. Like, but to be honest, the process, they loved it because, I would like just cut up the story for them and then give it to them of what I'm imagining in my mind. And then it was just crafting and shaping it into what it could be. Shout out to Luis Dektikar and Rumen Andanov. Like very, very like Luis has, won Emmys for sports documentary. So he brought this just deep understanding of how to like keep the story in a certain position and not veer too far. And then Rumen is like a Swiss Army knife, which we call him, where he's just is nothing to do, can't do. And he's almost like, as soon as you have a vision of something, he can literally create it.
Mm,
So that was just a powerful piece to have on this project to help us to just get things off in a way that like even may have been, like you said, it should have paid us more because it was some expensive things we pulled off.
yeah,
But
yeah.
because of Corey and I's connections from over the years, we were able to get some favors done and get some ideas off that like are just massive, like the collage work and stuff being done. Um, but to your point, like connecting narrative and things, like it was just a feel of like from the experience in the storytelling, what we saw from filming the game to the archive of what it spoke to us. We really just tried to get as much off as we could in that time, in that runtime for the film. And I'm glad that it makes sense. We actually came out, we'll say, we came out first, like, because I'm a big fan like Wes Anderson or whatever. I'm like, what if we do act one, boom, PTA style, and just act two, this meal ticket in progress. Amazon was like, no. So we was all right, we're gonna figure this out in a way that visually could come together and make sense. So I'm glad that it connects properly.
Mm,
And
yeah.
then to add us to that too, it was us being from Chicago. There's a documentary that means a lot to us called Hoop Dreams. And there was even a point in time where we wanted to throw like little Easter eggs, little nuggets in there, where we looked at the runtime of the movie Hoop Dreams, and we were like, what if we just make our film be the exact length and runtime of Hoop Dreams, And even that was kind of like, okay, but this is our first film. We want it to hit, and we want people to like it. Let's not give them too much, because it would have kind of crossed over to being like an epic kind of feel. So but we, like you said, we had all kind of ideas. Who's to know? Maybe there will be a director's cut or something that people will demand because of the project being so well received. But then also, Carlton reminded me, just talking about like the great team that we had and you being across the pond, we worked with an illustrator, an animator from London too, on this project named Troy Brown. Some of the moving pieces and things that you see in the film were actually created with us being able having to communicate with that crazy time difference that we have between us.
To be fair, 4 hours isn't too bad.
It's not. It's not. It's not. But it was definitely. I know Carlton can attest
I'm
to
in
it. It was a lot
LA.
of he's Carlton's in LA, so it was times where he would
Oh
have to
yeah,
get up there
eight
and try
hours.
to get on the phone with Troy and say, "Yo, what if we change this? What if we do this?"
Shout out to Troy, man.
Mhm.
Incredible talent, great artist. We liked his work in the prior film we saw on Katrina Babies on HBO. And yeah, he's a special talent.
Shout out Troy. And with the film, you've also obviously had some like early screenings and other people seeing it before the release. Have there been any NBA stars that have seen it yet?
Man, you know what? So Jalen Rose is a producer on the film. And you can tell from interviewing him that it means the game means a lot to these guys and women. And we saw him at the Joe and Jada podcast, the Fat Joe and Jada Kids podcast. And, we go up to him and he's like, hey, the film is awesome, man. And I'm like, I don't think he's lying about that. I think he really means it. He looked us dead in our eyes and was like, the film is awesome. It's a great story. And he was the first one to tell us that the film is amazing. So we haven't heard yet for these other players, that we wish, could have been a part of it. To the players that are a part of it, it's so many interviews. I mean, it's like 50 interviews we got, maybe 60. Like you said, there's a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor, a lot of stories that, just didn't make it. But shout out to Jalen Rose, man, for helping us with the film, getting us different players and legends to come on board. But yeah, he was the first stamp of like, yo, y'all did that right. That's
Mm,
proper. And we put a little Easter egg in the film for him with this player, Antoine Jubé,
mm,
who has a Jerry curl, and he's from the
yes.
80s. And it's a wild look, but he's from Detroit, Michigan. And Jalen Rose went crazy when he was, I'm so glad y'all put him in the film. So a lot of unsung heroes getting some airtime in the film.
I mean, you never know. Like from watching this film and the reviews it's gonna get, they might be like want to commission for a part two, and then they'll be like,
Hey,
yeah, just get us in there. And then
you
the
know,
one does wonders for many
it's
people.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's that time, that period when people get to talk about how they were a man in high school, or, not men physically, but just like, the term, like, yeah, people love talking about when things were great in high school. They get all these accolades. It's like a rite of passage. So I'm hoping that when it's released and the players get to see it and talk about it, it just reminds them and takes them back down memory lane, and all kind of debates, and who was better, all of those cool conversations, start to come from it.
Yeah, and I think there is going to be like a big conversation coming out with this film. And after making it, once you've like finally screened it, the final cut, what stayed with you emotionally?
Mm, the final cut of it. It's just 4 years, like we said, right? It's so much that Corey and I put into making this film to get it over the line, the pressure of telling this major story, the brands involved in it. You've got Amazon, McDonald's, Rock Nation, Creative. It's just endless. It's just a miracle, I think, for us to get to this day is insane. And I'm really glad that the world will get to see it in the state that it is in. McDonald's was a great partner. I mean, this is not me just saying it. Like they let us get off with the name meal ticket. You know, they let us, you know, keep a lot of the integrity in the film as much as we could, and sitting in that theater, and I think seeing Flau'jae get her verse off in the credits and just show you how much of a star, it don't matter what era it is, Flau'jae's a star, you
Mm,
know? And then she just, shuts it down in the credits and just cut. And I feel like that just made it feel like, man, this is our meal ticket as well, man. For me and Corey, this is a dream. We feel like we're McDonald's All-Americans, you know? Like,
Yeah,
really.
we want everybody to watch that. Everybody that watches the movie should take that feeling away from it of at least having some sort of understanding of what it takes to be a McDonald's All American and what it feels like. You know.
Yeah. You saw like Michael Jordan's like
Yeah, yeah.
talking and dressing. And it's so cool to be able to like have that play on that where Jordan is addressing the audience or the kids at the game, and then Kobe tries to emulate and do the same style. You know, but it's also that feel of like we're all McDonald's All Americans now. We've got a glimpse into the world. So it's cool.
Yeah, because I'll be honest with you, I had no idea who the McDonald's All-Americans were at first because I watched basketball, but I didn't know the deep-rooted themes and the gateways behind that because um we usually don't get that reception over here. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that I was able to learn more about it from your story because that it clearly shows that stories like this were needed. And you said before that nobody's covered this before, and that's what made it more likely to happen. And so you said
Ooh.
McDonald's is a partner. They should have let you design your own McDonald's meal, like your wife's got one. Like if you were to if you were to design one, what would it be?
I know Corey got an idea.
Um,
It's still time too, by the way.
it's still time. I don't know. I feel like the sandwich that they pushing right now got a dope name. That with a big arch or something like that. It sound like a big basketball player's nickname too or something, right? Like,
Mhm.
somebody like a center or a power forward that's got like a crazy like hook shot or something, right? Just call him the big arch. I don't know. But yeah,
I
I feel
mean,
like the creative juices that can come from this movie to maybe that might happen. Maybe we might get a meal ticket meal or something at McDonald's or
or they
something.
put the toys in the Happy Meal. Man,
Exactly. They should
they
put the
make
Yeah.
toys in.
little like McDonald's legends and put them in the Happy Meals.
Yeah. That's some good marketing right there. Oh wait, you shouldn't be
I know
spilling
we
it.
need to
It costs
say this.
money.
Hold on, that part might not.
Collect them all.
You gotta write
Collect
that
them
one
all.
down.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And so you guys have worked with each other for quite a while, and obviously the relationship professionally has been really good because you've made some great stuff. Have there been any moments where you were like you disagreed on stuff, especially for this film?
All the time. All the time. No, no, I feel like you said, Carlton and I have like really good chemistry. Like we've like even before we started business, we were able to bond and connect. Like we met working at a radio station um, with each other, and then while talking with each other, we found out that we went to rival high schools. Um, but then it's just like bonding over music and pop culture, and just feeling like sometimes both being misunderstood. Having a good grasp of what is cool that people don't really know, but like just trying to be able to put people on and see that you just don't really have to lean towards popular stuff, like just dig for stuff. And me and Carlton kind of like really bonded over that, and that led to us starting one business before we actually started our real business together. And the friendship was there, like-minded creatives. And yeah, we just do like bands do. We have jam sessions. We come up with ideas. Carlton to challenge me. I know I challenge him sometimes too, where it's just like, what can we come up with that'll be cool? And Carlton, like, we speak each other's languages. Carlton does a really good job of kind of understanding what's going on in my mind, and what I'm trying to communicate. And I've always appreciated him for being able to, speak Corey, I guess,
Absolutely. I feel like I received that. I feel like the Abbott, RZA. I don't know, like Wu-Tang Clan. It's
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
you just got to keep it together. We all just got to keep it together for the greater good. And I think that's the energy that we move with and telling the stories and getting this. I mean, this is rare stuff that's happening. We've been a part of some real good cultural moments and been more of like the ghost writers of it. And this is like kind of our first like in public cultural moment, right? We've been a part of Genius, Chris Rock after he got slapped. Like we was the first to see footage of what he would say next. Um, yeah, so this is a cool moment.
Yeah, I mean, this is your McDonald's All-American. This is the
Yeah.
stage right here.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that is
And
it.
la lastly, to wrap up, but it's been an amazing conversation. This film, it feels like it's for the culture, it's for the community, and for many people, uh, they're gonna feel represented by this as well. And what's the message you want to leave behind just before because it's gonna come out tomorrow? And how do you just what's your message to all the people that are gonna be watching?
Oh man, it's without question is dreams, man. I'm telling you, it's if anything, keep dreams alive is the goal. That was what carried us through this film. It's what got us to start Stoney and Yates, our production company, to, what was it was the perfect story to tell first for us, me and Corey, is dreams. Because that's all we've been talking about as long as we've known each other, right? And with the times of now where things can feel meaningless, and social media is the doom gloom energy, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on, man. And I hope this is like a nice little. That's what sports does too, right? Brings a little bit of beacon of hope, a little bit of a break from the heavy stuff. And I really hope this reinvigorates dreams for people in the world, because we saw these players, man. It's not just about talent. There's like a lot of great people that can do cool stuff, but it just to believe the relentlessness, the sacrifices, all these things that they all have these ingredients that they all gonna share. No matter if it was the older players to the newer, they all share these ingredients, and that's how they got to their dreams. And I feel like you can apply that to beyond sports. And I think it helped carry us through telling the story, to be honest, of what it was going to take to get Amazon to agree to what McDonald's is saying and the checkpoints and Rock Nation to all come together. I mean, it's a feat, man. It really is.
100%. And it was lovely speaking to you guys. And honestly, I need to find where I can get that hat.
Oh man,
I
when we
need the
go see you
hookup. I
across
need
the
the hookup.
pond, man, don't worry. You got them coming. They're coming to you. So let's definitely get contact info.
100%.
All
Appreciate it,
right.
man.
Yeah.
This was our first, I think, maybe our first, like, across the pond,
Across
UK
the pond.
Yeah.
interview. So this was
I mean,
great,
we've got to spread the word.
Yeah, this was great.
Yeah, seriously, I really think that
Yeah,
the
please do.
international like audience, I think, can really get something from this story, from this
Yeah.
film. So I'm excited to hear your experience because it gives me a lot of hope. I'm like, oh yeah, Americans may feel a certain way, but we got to go Jimi Hendrix, and just like, let's see what the world really wants to know. So definitely a pleasure.
No,
This was
absolutely.
Awesome.
really
Thanks,
good.
guys.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Take care.
Peace.
Have a
Emily's
good one.
real.
Congrats on
Emily's
tomorrow.
real.
Good looking tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.